In this lesson here, I really want to talk about focusing on the small things because they really are what are going to make the long-term huge difference in your business. It's not about making these huge explosive jumps in your business. It really is one door at a time. And each door that we get, there's very specific little things that allow you to get farther and farther and farther, hopefully to the bridge to the close, so that on average, out of the contacts you're making, you're actually contacting more owners. And then out of more owners, you want to increase your odds of how many of those owners are fully getting pitched. And then out of the ones that are fully pitched, how many of them are actually interested enough in you and your product to be considered a target? And then out of those targets, how many of those on average can you walk all the way to the bridge to close? And then out of all the bridge to closes that you're pulling out, how many of those turn into deals, right? So these little things that I teach help you advance each one of those steps and increase your averages at each step of the game. So at the end of your funnel is more deals. That's what the coaching is about. You might find some things and you might hear a couple lines that absolutely explode your business. But at the end of the day, for the average person, it's all about increasing ratios and getting farther along in your pitch to increase averages. That's really what all this coaching and everything is all about. It really is about the small things, the small little tweaks. And as you know, there's no 100% accurate, line that works at every single door. That just doesn't exist in sales. And the techniques I teach you, they're not great because they always work, right? Like I've already said, they're just the small tweaks. And it really is the small things that separate the low producers from the elite in the business. Most of us are working really hard, talking to a lot of people. Why are some getting a ton of deals and some getting very few, if none? And it is the small things is the answer. So learning how to overcome the common rebuttals doesn't guarantee that every person that you talk to, you're going to get a full pitch. But if you're good at overcoming rebuttals, you're just increasing your odds to get over those rebuttals to a bridge to close. Everything you learn should be executed every chance that you get. If you watch the videos and then you go out in the field and keep doing what's not working for you, then this is pointless, right? Take this stuff, execute it. When you get a chance or someone asks you a rebuttal, start using what you're learning and watch the ratios and averages of continuing on in your pitch and getting farther along increase. And by doing these small things, you're definitely going to increase your odds. So what are the odds that we want to increase? We want to increase out of how many doors that you're talking to, how many of them are owners, right? And you might be thinking, how can training get me more owners? Well, you know how many deals that you can sign by getting an owner on the phone and then getting them down there to their business? If you're only relying on the owner being in there the second you walk in, then that's going to decrease your ratio. You know how many deals you can get by having an interesting approach, getting the owner on the phone, having a nice, easy approach on the phone, get them to commit to coming down, right? That's a huge difference in top producers and low producers. Low producers expect all the owners to be there. Top producers do whatever they have to get that owner on the phone and in front of them. Those are small tweaks. Out of how many owners you get, how many of them are you able to get the full pitch out? Now, if we go talk to 100 doors and you only get 35 owners, and out of those 35 owners, only 3 of them listen to the whole pitch, you basically hit 3 doors. The other 97 were a complete waste of time. So what are the small things that get a business owner to allow you to give them the whole pitch so that they fully understand and decide if they want to move forward? And if they're not interested, that's okay that they're not interested because they honestly heard the whole pitch. They honestly understand what they're saying no to. They're not just saying no to a salesperson. They're saying no to the program. And that's a no that we can live with. But walking out with them saying no and we didn't even get the whole pitch out, that door basically doesn't count. So we have to increase the ratio of whole pitches that we're getting out to the owners. Out of the pitches you get out, how many am I able to consider an actual target? Meaning, was my pitch presented in a way where at the end of it, how many of them are interested in talking further? How many of them are asking me questions about the program? How many of them are making rebuttals that maybe they're trying to play hardball, but they're really buying questions? Like, yeah, but I bet you have to buy the equipment. How much does that cost? Right? That's a really good question. If at the end of your pitch, they're saying stuff like that, you did a good job. That's a target. So that's what you're looking for. And out of potential merchants, how many of them are closes and become my merchant is the end goal. So you can see how the small tweaks all the way from the very beginning, from your first impression all the way down to them becoming a merchant, it really is the small things, because all we're doing is we're trying to increase the ratio at each one of these steps. I don't worry about the whole pitch. We're going to break down each step of the funnel. Once we master one step and can on average get farther, now let's start increasing the ratio of the next step where we're getting held up. Before you know it, you're getting through the intro with a higher ratio. You're getting through the short story with a higher ratio. You're getting through your presentation with a higher ratio. Your bridge to close is working, so you're getting more closes ratio, and then you're rehashing a bunch of deals. Did you know that the range between the top golfers and the low golfers in the PGA tournaments, the spread is over $6 million? Look at the difference in the level of income between the top, the average, and the lowest on the PGA Tour. That is a massive difference. Between the top and the average is 10.64 times more, and between the top and the low is 105 times more income. And it is not because their scores are 10 or 105 times better. It's because they're a little bit better consistently. That long term makes a huge impact on the salary and the value and the income that they're able to create. And it is the same thing in this business. It's not these huge leaps and bounds that make this top producer able to sign 30 and this person's only doing 4 a month. It's actually just these little tweaks. It's the little adjustments that increase their highest ratio so that over time consistently that allow them to shave off just a couple of swings compared to the other people around them, resulting in an income that is 10 to 105 times more. That's the difference. Focus on the small things, and the big things will take care of themselves. Remember this in this training. It's all about the small things.